Hey, Shalom Christ. We're gonna get started in just a second. Testing, testing, testing. Damn. So like, I'm just trying to check on Facebook and see if we get on Facebook. Okay. All right, we're good. All right. Shalom Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushua brought the thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar, the thumb Bashem Yahushua to the sisters. This is Wednesday law class. Um, Today we're gonna be getting into Eve and the serpent. Right. So we'll be getting into Genesis 3:1. Salaki. So if you got your Bibles, let's get to that page. Genesis 3:1. You know what? We can start at we'll start at Genesis 2:21. We'll start at the entrance of Eve. Okay. I just want to really get into this because it's really important for our people to figure out exactly what tactics our oppressors are using against our sisters. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The same thing that's going on in the Bible, the same thing that you see was going on with our sisters today. You know what I mean? Them being fed heathen customs in order for them to be, you know what I mean, to feel some type of how can I say, dominion over the ones who are supposed to be over them, right? So we'll get into that. But yeah, we'll start off with the entrance of Eve, and that'll be Genesis 2 and verse 21. Okay, the book of Genesis, verse 2. Salaki, the book of Genesis, chapter 2, and verse 21, and it says, "And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed." So breakdown of, you know what I mean, a lot of these parts right here, you know what I mean, as far as like causing a deep sleep, he, you know what I mean, deep sleep would pretty much mean like he caught Adam off guard. You know what I mean? At that time period, you know what I mean, it's no different from the time period you see today, like with You know what I mean? Men were lustful after, you know what I mean, strange women. You know what I mean? So the Lord caught Adam off guard as far as like pretty much he caught him sleeping. Like, you know what I mean? Like he put him in a position where he got a woman from his own nationality. You know what I mean? His own. Hey, Shalom of Christ, young man James, what's going on, man? Um, he got a woman from his own nationality. You know what I mean? His own tribe, his own bloodline. You know what I mean? That's why it says flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. That means that she came from the same bloodline as Adam, right? So, um, let's see. When it says, um, okay, it says, cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Okay, that just meaning, you know what I mean, they shall come together, they shall be one, they shall, you know what I mean, be in marriage, which is sex, you know what I mean, and and they were both naked. Now, them being both naked, okay, this is allegory. You know what I mean? This is not. Being. This is them being out and open with their traditional custom. Their custom of how we live our lives in this truth. You know what I mean? Like Adam was given directions on how to live, what's clean and what's unclean, what to do in certain situations and what not to do. The law, you know what I mean? The covenant the customs that the Lord brought to the Israelites that we were made to abide by. You know what I mean? That's what the being naked is. It's not physically being naked. Now, if you're coming out of the Christian church, you would think that the Bible is saying that they're just completely naked and they're walking around with no clothes on, and no, that's not really how it is. You know what I mean? They're walking around with no shame to their custom, to the way that they're living. You know what I mean? They're not ashamed. Like, okay, how how the priests and officers and, you know what I mean, the sisters were when they first got into the truth. You know what I mean? When you found this truth, you walked around with it like a badge of honor. You didn't walk around like it was just like something that you needed to hide from your people and you needed to be ashamed of. No, you walked around with it like a badge of honor. You showed it amongst people, even if it made them feel uncomfortable, and if it made them feel like, you know what I mean, felt some type of animosity towards you or anything like that. You wore it on your shoulder like a badge of honor, and that's exactly what walking around naked is pretty much residing to. Like, okay, so it says the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. So they weren't ashamed of living in the instruction that the Most High gave to Adam, right? Okay, so let's keep going. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1, and we're gonna get into the serpent, right? Now, this is all this all needs to be taken into because um Genesis is a lot of there's a lot of allegory going in to Genesis, especially the first couple of chapters, and it's for Israelites to understand and everybody else to be lost on. Now, what we did was we took on the customs of the heathen, and we thought that, you know what I mean, Adam and Eve were actually naked. We thought that Adam and Eve were the first people on earth, were the only people on earth. We thought that Adam and Eve were the progenitors of all mankind. We thought that Adam and Eve, you know what I mean, how can I say? We thought that Adam actually had a rib taken out of his body in order to create Eve. You know what I mean? But what really is going on is it's being spoken into slang terms, like how we do today as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? Like when you get into this truth, you hear a lot that, oh yeah, my rib this, my rib that, my rib this. You know what I mean? That's the way that we're speaking because that's the way that is being broadened out into the Bible. When someone's when an officer saying that this is my rib and whoop whoop whoop, that means he's saying that this is his woman, this is his possession, this is his wife. You know what I mean? So that's the same way that the Bible was bringing out. You know what I mean? our oppressors took everything that was written into the Bible literally, and they fed us that within Christianity. You know what I mean? And Catholic doctrine. You know what I mean? So a lot of what can I say? Even a lot of fake Israelites, they still follow the fact of we'll get into that later. Okay. I got a lot on that, but okay, so let's get into Eve and the serpent. Now, when you're dealing with the Christian church, you're dealing with, you know what I mean, fable. You're dealing with them explaining to you that an actual snake came up to a woman and spoke to her and got her to believe that if she was to eat a particular type of fruit, that she would become like a god if she ate the fruit. So her Adam eats the fruit, and they don't become like gods because they were deceived, and then you know what I mean, they start to realize that they don't have clothes on. No, this is the real true meaning of the Bible. You know what I mean? This is why you say you step into the truth. You know what I'm saying? This is the true meaning of what the Most High is bringing out within these scriptures. Okay, so let's get into it. The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 1, right? And it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made." So what does that mean? You know what I mean? The serpent was more subtle. Does that mean that the serpent was more of a serpent than the other serpents? No. Does it mean that the serpent was more you know what I mean, more of a reptilian than other serpents? Like, no. That's allegorically speaking that this serpent is no different than what we call, still to this day, call someone who's a shiesty person, a manipulator, deceiving person. You know what I mean? This is we in today's age, we call that person a snake, right? So it's no different than what the Bible's referring to as this particular person was more subtle than any beast of the field. Now, that's any beast of the field is already telling you already that they're not really speaking about a serpent, because a serpent is not a beast. You know what I mean? A serpent is like a snake or some type of reptile. You know what I mean? It's a large snake. That's what a serpent is, a large snake. Hey, shalom, Adawan. Hey, shalom, sis. So when they're explaining that it's more subtle than any beast of the field, just meaning that this person is more jankier than janky is an old word, so I'm got to figure out another word. This person is more deceiving and more low life and deceptive than any person that was amongst the people at that time period. This person was no different than the people that put, you know what I mean, all this deceptive lifestyles in front of you, or when you watch it on television or you watch it on social media. You know what I mean? That get you to want to be whores, that get you to want to be drug dealers, that get you to want to be pimps, and you know what I mean, you know what I mean, lovers of flesh, like, you know what I'm saying, lovers of pleasure and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This serpent was very, very deceiving. More deceiving than anybody that was amongst the people at that time period, because there were people. You know what I mean? There were people. That's why when Cain killed Abel, you know what I mean, he fled into a city. The earth was populated. You know what I mean? We have to debunk all that Christianity doctrine that they pushed on us, and we have to kill that spirit and open our eyes up to what the actual true meaning of the Bible is. You know what I'm saying? And you'll only get that in the ISUPK. But let me keep going. So, you know what I mean? It says that the serpent was more subtle than any beast in the field, which the Lord God had made. So this person was very deceiving. This person was very wicked. This person knew exactly how to entice someone into thinking something that wasn't true. Okay, that's what being the most subtle beast in the field is. It's not being the most reptilian out of all the beasts that were amongst all the animals of the field. No, that is not what that means. Okay, this was a person. This was a person with false doctrine, a person with false advice, a person with false initiative to serve the Most High. You know what I'm saying? All that. You know what I'm saying? So, Will Williams. I don't know who that is. I don't know what that means either. Okay. You know what I mean? If you got any comments, put it in the chat. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you got anything that you want to put into the chat, go ahead and put that in the chat, and we can discuss it. So, okay. So let's get into it. You know what I mean? This is the most subtle beast within the field that the Lord God had made. Okay. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So, what is dying? What is the tree? What are they eating? Okay. Now let's really get into what's going on, because I want to really get into like a lot of things that, you know what I mean, correlate with what we see today with our oppressors deceiving our Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. So we'll get into that. We're going to get into that, but I want to hurry and get through this so we get an understanding of what's really going on between the serpent and Eve, right? So, okay. So let's see. And it says, and he's saying that you shouldn't eat from the tree. Now, okay. Eating from the tree is not physical eating. You know what I mean? And there is no tree. There is no tree. You know what I mean? That's the tree, the eating, the fruit, eating from the garden, like eating amongst people that are like that. All that has to do with learning heathen custom. You know what I mean? It has to do with knowledge. When you are taking in knowledge, let me see. That's more precepts to go with that. But when you're taking in knowledge is no different than ingesting some type of food. You know what I mean? It's either going to be good for you or it's going to be poison for you. It's either going to be something that can heal you or it's going to be something that can kill you. So it's all depending on what you take in. Your brain is no different than your stomach. You know what I mean? Your brain taking in certain knowledge of certain things could be detrimental to your health. You know what I mean? Because, okay, scientifically speaking, let's just go into like science. The mind doesn't really separate the things that you put in it. It doesn't separate it from reality, from imagination to reality. Now, the things that you put in it, you could be having certain thoughts of certain things that might be or might not be true, but your mind is taking everything in as it's true, right? So that's why insecurities can be played as a certain part in a relationship, because it's that person imagining that things are happening that could or could not be happening. But the mind is making it realistic. So the mind is reacting in a way where, you know what I mean, that the mind is reacting in a way that it can't tell whether if it's real or not real, because that's what you're feeding it. Now you can look into this. This is actually like true facts. Your mind can't tell the difference between imagination or reality, right? So the things that you bring to it, the things that you feed it, the things that you imagine, or the things that you think of on a consistent basis, those things should be based on That's why the Lord always says, like, keep them on your mind day in and day out. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean, those things that you imagine that could be happening are probably really not happening. You know what I mean? But your mind is taking it in as it's a reality. And that's how insecurities are built. And that's how things, emotions are built off of imaginations. Because your mind can't tell the difference between what you're imagining and what's actually happening. Right? And that's a true fact. So let me see. Let me see. So it's saying that, you know what I mean, the Lord is telling you not to eat this fruit. And Eve's responding that the Lord says that we can eat of knowledge, like we can have certain knowledge of certain things, but we can't have knowledge of other outside things. That's what she's saying within that precept, right? So this is what the serpent is going to tell her, right? And this is how you separate. Is it Ezekiel 3:1? This is how you separate them actually ingesting something and them actually just getting the knowledge from something. Let me see. Let me check it. Let me check Ezekiel 3:1 real quick. Ezekiel 3:1 says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that." Okay, this is it. He says, "Son of man." Okay, so the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 1. Moreover, priest and officer 15. Hey, shalom of Christ. What's going on? So he's saying in Ezekiel 3, chapter 3 and verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So he's not talking about eating a literal roll. You know what I mean? He's talking about take in these words, take in this knowledge, taking all of these things I'm giving you, and go give it to the children of Israel. You know what I mean? And you're gonna get it as we keep reading, right? So let's keep going. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 1. Let's keep going. And go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. He caused me to learn the knowledge of what is it that he's bringing to him. You know what I mean? So we're gonna keep going. All right, chapter 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness, meaning that it was great to him. It was how you felt when you got into the truth. You know what I'm saying? It was magnificent to him. He it was like honey to him, right? As he said, honey for sweetness. So he's not saying that it was honey for sweetness. He's saying it was like honey. He said, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. It's not actually saying that there was honey on the roll. It's just saying that that's how it came into his mind, his body. You know what I'm saying? Verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. So that is telling you exactly what was going on in that situation. He's saying, speak with my words unto them. So he's telling you that roll, that sweetness like the honey, that was words. That was knowledge that he was bringing to him to give to the children of Israel, right? When are the classes? Okay, so real quick, let me just address that question. Our classes are from Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. for us, or it's 7 Eastern time for if you're on the East Coast. But that's our times. So if you are on the East Coast, it's 10 p.m. for you, and it's 7 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. Okay. So that's the times, and then you have Sabbath service, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern or Pacific time. If you're on the Eastern time, then it's going to be what 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock for from the West Coast, and 10 o'clock from the East Coast, right? Okay, so back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel was telling you that these things that in San Bernardino. Okay, so in San Bernardino, yeah, it'll be 7 o'clock Tuesday through Friday, and 10 o'clock in the morning for Sabbath service. Got it? And then we have, you know, what I mean, Commander Junior Johannes on Sundays and Mondays. Like pretty much, we go day in day out. You know what I mean? And those are usually at 6 o'clock. So real quick, let's get back to it. So Ezekiel's telling you that the words were the role. The words were the role, just as well as the words were the fruit in Genesis, right? So let's get back to Genesis. Genesis chapter 3 and verse, let's see where we left off at. Genesis chapter 3, let's see. Okay, so we'll start at verse 3. Okay, and it says, "But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die." Verse 4. "And the serpent said unto the woman," okay, so here we go. Now we're getting to the deceit of it. Now I got you, no problem. You know what I mean? No problem. But now let's get into the deceitfulness, and let's get into why things that happen from back then are the same things that are happening to us today. This is the deceit that Eve had went through, right? Verse 4. The book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 4. "And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die." So he's telling her the opposite of what the Most High told her. The instructions that the Most High gave is that if you take on this knowledge, if you learn the ways of the heathen, then you shall die. This is the serpent telling you, the person, the deceitful person, telling Eve that, okay, so I'll put Captain Gadalhar's number in the chat, and you could just take it from there, right? Yeah. So I'll put his number in the chat, and you can get in contact with Captain Gadalhar. But let's get back into it, okay? So getting back into it, he's deceiving Eve, telling her that what the Most High told you is not true. You know what I'm saying? Not only can you take on this knowledge, but you won't die for taking on this knowledge. You're not going to suffer for taking on this knowledge. The Most High won't punish you for taking on this knowledge. This is what he's telling her. You can learn about, you know what I mean, being a bad, you know what I mean, female dog. You can learn about, you know what I mean, you can learn about, you know what I mean, LGBTQ situations. You can learn about all this stuff. Like all these things, they're not gonna kill you. They're actually really good for you. You know what I'm saying? So like, let me help them out real quick, and then we can get back to the lesson real quick. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna put Captain's number in the chat. Very important. You know what I mean? Always report to your camp leader. Let me see. Okay. So that's Cap's number in the chat. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You have any questions? You get in contact with your camp leader. All right. So let's get back to it. Okay. So this serpent is telling Eve that not only like you're not the Most High. What he told you, he didn't really mean it like that. He didn't mean that you're going to die. You're not really going to die. You're not going to die for sitting over here taking on this knowledge that I'm about to bring to you right now. You're not going to die taking on this custom that I'm about to bring to you right now. You're not going to die from these things. You're going to actually, let's keep going. What's actually going to happen to you if I give you what I'm going to give you right now? And it says, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Verse 5, for God doth know, thou know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open. So not only are you not going to die, but you're going to become way smarter than what you were before you even learn the things that you learn. You know what I mean? You're going to be a lot more knowledgeable. You're going to be a lot more impressive in your lifestyle because you know a lot more than a lot of people around you know. Uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? And it says, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So he's acknowledging the fact that what I'm going to bring to you is evil because it's not of God, but you'll be more than what you are by learning this. You know what I'm saying? By learning these ways, you'll be fierce. You'll be feisty. You'll be the head of your man. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be behind your man. You're not gonna be following your man around, and you know what I mean. You're gonna be smarter than your man. You're gonna be more sophisticated, more independent. You know what I mean? This is what this deceiver was bringing to Eve at that time period. No different than what you see what that deceiver is bringing to all of our sisters in this day and age right now today. What is he bringing? You know what I mean? Oh, you can get these food stamps. You just don't have that man in that house. You're gonna be able to take care of your kids. Just don't bring him around. Because if you bring him around, okay, that's enough income for y'all to just be able to just suffer together. But you don't have to suffer. We don't want you to suffer. We want you to be able to take care of these kids and have a stable home for these kids. You know what I mean? Because he can't bring it, obviously. Y'all black, y'all struggling in America, but we got something for y'all. America's here to help you. Only you though, not your man. Your man, he don't really deserve it, but you deserve it, girl. You deserve it. So what do we got going on here? You know what I'm saying? We got the same type of tricks that's being played for our sisters today. You know what I'm saying? He told you that you was gonna be like a god. Now, I wish Itazan was in the chat right now. Very fond of these type of situations with these type of people. You know what I mean? These type of people, these type of tricks are still being played within our sisters today. You know what I'm saying? You got sisters that are in the world within Christianity. They think they're not of Christianity. They think that they're true Israelites that will think that, oh well, you know what I mean? God is a woman. Woman is the crown of the man, which makes her over the man. Okay. So let's go to 1 Corinthians then. Let's see. Let's get to it right now. 1 Corinthians 11:3. 1 Corinthians 11:3. Let's get into the true order of what a household should be. 1 Corinthians 11:3 is saying, the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3 says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ. So the head of every man is Christ. Christ is above every man. And the head of the woman is the man. So the head of the woman is the man. This is the order that the Most High is bringing out. And the head of Christ is God. So God is over all. Then it's Christ. Then it's man. And then it's woman. That's ranking order right there. That's ranking order brought to you by the Most High himself. So a woman thinking that she's the crown of a man and that she's over a man is just no different of deceit that the serpent was bringing to Eve, because he told you something that was the opposite of what the Most High instructed you to be. You know what I mean? The Most High instructed you to be under your man. He wanted the man to be the head of the household. He wanted Christ to be the head of the man, and he's the head of Christ. That's the ranking order. So why is it that there is a doctrine that's out right now that the woman is God and the woman is over the man? So now you just mixed up and you blended your false doctrines, the teaching of that serpent, into Bible. You know what I mean? Now you saying that the Most High is a woman, you know what I mean? The Most High is a man of war. You know what I mean? It says that the Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name. That's what the Bible says. His name. His name. Not her name, not their name. What's a word that the LGBTQ community uses? Not their name. Like, says that it's his name. The Lord is a man of war. You know what I mean? Now you could try to switch this the concept of that scripture and try to switch up the words of it and try to put woman in front of it. But at the end of the day, that's you switching scripture. That's you manipulating and adding on to the scripture, which is a penalty by death. To add on or take away from the scriptures, that's a penalty by death, right? And you could say that it means that she was a woman of war, but at the end of the day, that's you taking away and you adding on to scripture. So that's a penalty by death. So you are no different than being deceived just as well as Eve was deceived in that garden, right? So let's keep going. Let's go back to Genesis. You know what I mean? So the serpent is telling her that she's going to be like a god. You're going to be over everything. You're going to be over God. You're going to be over man. You're going to be over God. You're going to be the actual true leader when it comes to leading anything within the means of leading anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the main thing that we see within our sisters today. Now, check and see what they got you doing right now. Like, we got into the whole getting food stamps and any type of I forgot what you call it again. Any type of government help. You know what I'm saying? We got into that. That's what they first brought onto our women, to get them to turn away from the man. So what else? You know what I mean? If you got any examples, put them in the chat. Like, don't just expect me to come up with all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a couple of people watching. Like, putting them in the chat. We got what else things have the heathen brought to our women in this day and age to make them feel like they are uncontrollable, unapologetic, just shameless and wanting to do whatever they want to do because they can do it, because they are independent and they can do whatever they want. What is it? You know what I mean? You got Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? I just came up to my mind because I said the independent thing. But you got Beyonce talking about, you know what I mean? You don't need a man at all, even though she's been married for damn near a decade by now. You know what I'm saying? You got majority of your R&B singers, the female R&B singers, talking about that. You know what I mean? They don't need a man for nothing, and they can do it all on their own, and a man is useless to them. You know what I mean? What is it? You recently had the single girl anthem, the F. What is it? F, and I don't know what it is. I really don't care. You know what I mean? But I see the single women chants that they got going on. They got television shows with, you know what I mean? You can go to Tyler Perry movies all you want to, and the man is always the villain of the situation. The woman is the one that has to be the superhero and take over. And you know what I mean? You got a new movie coming out called, you know what I mean, The Woman King, or something like that, with Viola Davis. Or is it Viola Davis or somebody else? But The Woman King, like, it's all, and even the new Black Panther movie, as much as our people think they African as it is already, they still adding in that oh, the woman is over the man tribal thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always being brought upon our people because really that true serpent is the person that our sisters follow today. You know what I mean? Because it's always going to be monetized. Um, it's always going to be famed. It's always going to be appreciated in your commercials, in your movies. Ain't nobody putting none in the chat. At all, everybody that's watching, ain't nobody putting none in the chat, but it's good. I got it. You know what I mean? It's always going to be, a spirit behind what a woman can do without a man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the goal. Status that the workforce given true as well. You know what I mean? Even when you look into the workforces, you know what I'm saying? Like it's literally the new wave that's going on. And this is no different than what was going on with Eve and the serpent. The serpent fed her all these good things about how great she is and how much more powerful than that she is without, you know what I mean, without having the instructions of God and, you know what I mean, and his laws. You ain't got to listen to that man. He just telling you to do this and that because he don't want you to be over him and he wants you to be under him. And, you know what I mean? All this stuff is just, it's no different. It's like it's in 2022, women still believe that they fan be their mother and father. You know what though? There's a doctrine going out with the people who feel like they are the goddesses of the earth. You know what I'm saying? That a woman is literally having birth without a man. I had to be quiet for a second and let that sink in. A woman is literally conceiving a child through whatever, you know what I mean, atoms or cells is going on in her bones. She's able to construct a semen cell that is implanted within her cell, within her eggs, in her ovaries, and she's able to have a child on her own. So when someone, and they bring this up often, like this is an often statement, and when I sit there and see that, I'm just like, okay, so why don't you get pregnant on your own? Do you know the oh, they said through a proper diet. Okay, so what do you got to eat? Oh, well, I mean, it's just a proper diet. It's just you do a proper diet, you can conceive on your own. Okay, so go get knocked up on your own then. What you need us for? You know what I mean? All these lesbian relationships, they still out here adopting. I thought they could. Can they make a child on their own or can they not? You know what I mean? I mean, you got it's damn near a majority of lesbian relationships more than it's straight relationships these days. Because at this time period, our oppressors have been sunk in. They sunk their teeth in so deep into our sisters that majority of them out here is single. So with all these lesbian relationships out here, which one of them out here just knocking themselves up? You know what I mean? There should be plenty of babies out. There should be plenty of little lesbian babies out here. You know what I'm saying? There should be plenty of them little lesbian made babies out here because majority of the relationships going on is through you know what I mean, lesbianism or homosexuality. That's the norm now. You know what I mean? This is no different than the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? So where are these little what do you call them? These immaculate conceived children. You know what I'm saying? Where are they at? Where do they exist at? Because they should be existing by now, at least. With all this damn LGBTQ stuff going on, it should be at least one little lesbian baby out here. Somebody should have made a baby on their own. They still out here getting artificially inseminated. It shouldn't even be that. Because if a woman can make a baby on her own, then at least it should be one. Out of all this lesbianism going on, it should be one, at least one immaculate conceived baby. You know what I mean? If a woman can make a baby on her own with the proper diet. You know why? Because it's horseradish. It's deceiving knowledge that you accepted into your body. It's poison. You accepted that because you felt like that you were so special that you didn't need a man for anything. You know what I mean? You didn't even need a man to even make a child. You can make a child on your own. You can immaculately conceive a child on your own. That's how special you felt you were, and that's exactly how special the serpent made Eve feel. He said, "You will be like unto a god." Right? You will be like a god, but really, he was just being subtle. He was being him. He was doing his job, which was to deceive someone who wasn't doing what they were doing at that time period. Now, what were they doing? You know what I mean? What do the heathens usually do? They want to be God. They want to be anti-constructed as far as instructed, as far as like being told to do this or be told to do that. You know what I mean? You could tell the heathen don't like that already. Look at what happened to the Capitol. You know what I mean? We don't want to be told to do anything. We don't want to be told to do anything. We want to just be able to just sit around and do what we want to do. That's the real American dream. I want to sit there and sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. I want to be able to eat and drink whatever I want to eat and drink without no one telling me what to do. That's the true American dream. They try to call it independence, but really it's anti-Christ. That's what it is. It's really that I want to try so hard to be anti-Christ. I don't want to feel like I'm pushed in a position where I have to take order and I have to take law. But that's all what being an Israelite is about. Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, your bloodline was chosen for you to be able to take in that instruction, take in that law. And you chose not to. You chose that the American dream would be better. Voting for a president, you know what I mean, standing in line for hours. Now let's get into that. Standing in line for hours and hours just to vote for a president who can't even control his own damn kids. Son just got caught smoking crack online, recording himself with no problems. Can't even control his kids, but got to control a whole nation. Got to control your nation. You stood in line thinking that he was going to make your situation better. But what's going on in his personal household, he got crack smoking kids, drug using kids. But you thought he was going to make your situation better. Now look at you. Now look at you. I remember all the I voted posts and I'm about to go and do this because our forefathers died for this and all that whoop-de whoop whoop and whoop-de whoop whoop. I remember all that. Now look at the situation that we're in right now. You begging for another president. And it can't come quick enough. Why? Because you're over here suffering, thinking that a heathen was going to make your situation better. A heathen was going to make your lifestyle within this hell better. You know what's going to make your lifestyle better? Getting back into these laws, statutes, and commandments. And you're not going to be able to do that without the Isupk. Because we're the only ones that's bringing this knowledge out to you right now as we speak. You know what I mean? These are all little fake camps that you got to dig through in order to get to the truth. They're gonna tell you, oh yeah, you can sleep with heathens. Oh yeah, well you can you can't use the microwave or the stove on the Sabbath day. You know what I mean? They're gonna tell you a whole bunch of nonsense that ain't got nothing to do with nothing until you actually get yourself implanted into the originals, the truth, the actual real truth that didn't change since 1969. You know what I'm saying? Those that, like, you're going to have to dig through all that nonsense. And it's even harder to be an Israelite now because you got so many people teaching stupid stuff. So many people trying to take what we say and taking in their own, what's the word I'm looking for? Conspiracy theories. They're taking in their own conspiracy theories and they're mixing them in with Bible when it ain't got nothing to do with Bible. And they're taking it and they're blending it with their spirit, which their spirit is still being in the world, still being Christian. Now, in order for you to sit there and learn the truth and know the truth and actually be and have a root in the truth, you have to go to the originals who didn't change, who didn't sit there and try to do a break off to a break off to a break off to a break off, who stayed solid through thick and thin from day one all the way now to this day and age that we are in right now. That's the only way that you're going to get implanted. That's the only way that you're going to be able to set a root within being in the truth. Because you go into these people who talking about that we can move objects with our brains, and we can that the woman is really, that the God is really a woman, and the book of Enoch is telling you that this and that and that and this. Okay, you go ahead and keep, you know what I mean? You go ahead and keep dibbling dabbling within these falsified doctrines. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to keep finding yourself in a position where things ain't getting no better for you. You know what I'm saying? The only way they're going to get better for you is if you sit over here and you push away all your fears, all of your doubt, all of your expectations of, oh yeah, well, I want this, I want God to be this, and I want God to be this. No, go where God is truly at. You know what I'm saying? Go where the Spirit of the Most High is truly at. Go where Christ's body is truly at. You know what I'm saying? The body of Christ, the actual teachings that he left before he left. You know what I'm saying? Go to where that's truly implanted. When I'm over here doing the goodbye speech, and we ain't even got started yet. So the serpent is doing nothing different than what he's doing to our sisters in this day and age right now. He's making you feel like you are more than what the Most High is. He's making you feel like you're more than what your husband is. He's putting all these damn false doctrines in order for you to sit there and attract to it, because when you hear something like the black woman is God, you're gonna be like, oh God, man, I knew I felt it. I was just waiting for somebody to say it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna latch onto that, and you're allowing yourself to be prey to a predator. You know what I'm saying? Prey to a predator. That serpent is that's a spirit. That's a man. You know what I mean? That's a man with a deceiving spirit on him to bring you all these false doctrines for you to follow, because it somehow sound good to you. You know what I mean? That crab boil smells good to you. It's hitting your senses. You know what I'm saying? It smells good to you. It might, you know what I mean? It might taste good to you. But at the end of the day, it's an abomination looked at from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You indulging in those things. You indulging in that bacon, that pork. You indulging into those unlawful things, those heathen customs. That's an abomination from the Most High. And this is exactly what the serpent was given to you during that time period. You know what I'm saying? He made you feel good. He made you feel like a goddess. Made you feel like a goddess. The same thing that our oppressors are doing today. Girl, if you go out there and you get that BBL and you go out there and you show your skin and you go over here and you sleep with the right man and the right man that got some wealth on them, girl, you're gonna be just as wealthy as them. And you'll be like a god unto all the women that are around you. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll actually be successful. You'll actually have the trips. You'll actually have the good post of Dubai, the good post of the yachts, the good post of all the celebrity parties. You'll have a nice good post, and you'll be able to brag and rub it in their faces, and you'll be able to just be able to show exactly how good your body looks, and you'll be a nice independent woman. You don't need no man, because ain't no man gonna want you, but you don't need them. You don't need them, even though they don't want you. You don't need them. You know what I mean? Because he should just want you. He should just want you because you pretty. You pretty. He should just want you, regardless of who you slept with, regardless of how many men you done slept with, regardless of what you doing that's defiling yourself and your body, your lineage, your children. While they sitting over there at your grandma's house, you gonna be out there and you gonna be great. You gonna be like a goddess, woman. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be like a goddess. This is no different. You know what I'm saying? All these things are written in the foretime. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was always this way. Manipulate, and then not just that, you had men who support these actions, support these acts. Why? Because they are lusting in that beauty. You know what I'm saying? They're in lust of that beauty. They're in lust of your body, your body parts. They're in lust of it. That's why you see all these men and all these goddamn whorish women posting all the, oh, you beautiful girl. Oh, you special. You more special than anybody I ever seen before. You so beautiful. That attention is not just fuel for you, it's fuel for them also. That you posting your whorishness is fuel for them also. So what did Adam do? Adam sat there and listened to his woman, which he should have been keeping order and being the head of the woman and listening to the Most High's, instruction. But what he do, he fell into that also. He fell into, all right, babe, all right, for sure. What you doing? What you got going on over there? What you learning over there? Let me learn it too. And after that, what happened? They were ashamed, right? Well, let's go. Shoot, let's read into it. Okay, so, and it says, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So he's letting them know that this is evil. You know what I mean? Like, this is evil, but at the end of the day, you knowing the other side to the story makes you more knowledgeable and make you just like a god, right? So verse 6, and it says, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. And a tree to be desired to make one wise. Now, when you eat something, it doesn't make you wiser, right? So obviously, we're still not talking about food that's coming from a tree. We're talking about knowledge. The Bible's not ever telling you a specific type of fruit that's coming from this tree. You know what I mean? It's not telling you that it's an apple or an orange or a lemon or a lime or anything like that. It's telling you that, you know what I mean? What does it say? It's telling you that, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. Now, eating a fruit doesn't make you wise. So what is this actual fruit? This is knowledge. This is something that the serpent is giving them that is outside of the instructions that the Most High gave to Adam, right? And it says that she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So they're both dwelling within this different knowledge of heathen custom, right? So they're both being, more educated on heathen custom. And that's the same thing that the heathens have done, all oppressors have done, to get us into this ways of, following their services as far as being ignorant and being servants to whatever they give us, whatever they bring us. Why do you think that the first thing that they took from us was the knowledge of being able to read, being able to write, being able to have any type of education in general? That was the first thing that they took from us. Why? Is because they needed us to be dumb. They needed us to want to have need of them to have some type of intellect, to have some type of knowledge. So what is the knowledge that they fed us after they starved us? If we want to talk on what the Bible's referring to as far as like eating something, they starved us from the knowledge of what we had as far as the laws, the instructions, the statutes, the commandments, the what to eat, the what not to eat, how to live, how not to live. They starved us from that type of way of living for generations and only fed us what they wanted to feed us, which was heathen customs, which was the slave Bible, which was how to serve your master, how not to rebel, how to just stay in line, but the Most High tells you everything different, which is why you had those certain few who fed themselves that knowledge of being able to read and write. And what did the slave masters do with them? They only fed them the scriptures that they wanted them to teach to the children of Israel. Now, them knowing, them knowing what is right and what's wrong by reading, by receiving the knowledge of the Most High, by receiving the fruit from the Most High, You know what I mean? The ways of living, the ways of life, because living and dead is two different things as far as like when it comes to physical and spiritual. You can die spiritually. You dying spiritually is you sinning or you not knowing the law, statutes, and commandments. Because the only thing that brings you life is the law, statutes, and commandments. The only thing that brings you life is instruction and being able to have that discipline to follow instructions. That's what brings you life. You know what I mean? So the life and death that Eve and Adam were facing, that was a spiritual life and death. Now we die spiritually. Now we can be born and not know anything about, you know what I mean, the Most High and his instructions, not serving holidays, not eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, not or living, which is, you know what I mean, serving the high holy days, eating clean food, you know what I mean, following the statutes and commandments, those type of things. Those are the differences between a spiritual life and death, right? So we chose death. We chose to follow the ways that were evil, the ways that were of the heathen. You know what I'm saying? Which is where Adam and Eve were dealing with at that time period. So she brought that knowledge to her husband. Her husband followed, and they were ashamed after that. So let's keep going. Verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they showed fig leaves together. They sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. So this is not some actual, I need to put this together and try to cover up my nakedness. No, they tried to cover up their nakedness with the culture of heathens. They tried to hide from the Most High within the culture of heathens, probably thinking that the black woman was God, probably thinking that, you know what I mean, the Ankh was the spiritual pathway to heaven, or some just a bunch of nonsense. Just a bunch of nonsense. They try to cover themselves up. It wasn't actual trees and leaves that they were trying to cover. They were trying to cover themselves up. They were trying to hide from the Most High within the heathen culture. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High, you know what I mean, he pointed them out like, hey, who told you you're supposed to, you know what I mean? Who told you you're supposed to put a Christmas tree in your house? Who told you you're supposed to put Easter eggs in your home? We can't do Easter eggs because Christ wouldn't. Who told you that, you know what I mean, you supposed to, you know what I mean, what do they have at that time period? Who told you that you're supposed to bring Nimrod gifts at well, that wasn't at that time period, but just examples of heathen type of cultures. You know what I mean? Where you got to do certain things. Who told you you're supposed to sacrifice this pig and offer it to Baal? You know what I'm saying? Like all these different type of things. Like, who told you you're supposed to do that? This is what the Lord is questioning. The Lord questioned Adam and Eve about. Who told you you're supposed to do those things? I instructed you to do these particular things that you're supposed to do. I gave you what foods to eat. I gave you what type of lifestyle you're supposed to live on a day in, day out. I told you what not to do. I told you not to harm your brother or your sister. I told you not to murder anyone. I told you not to, you know what I mean? All these different things. I gave you instructions on what not to do. Who told you that you can do that? You know what I'm saying? So that's the deception that was brought to Eve at that time period. Now it's no different than the deception that they bring to our sisters today. It's actually the same. Hey, Shalom, or Christ, what's going on, Shalom? You know what I'm saying? The water. So, you know what I mean? So the Lord is telling you, who told you to do these things? Who told you to do these things? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I mean, what does Adam say? Oh, my wife told me. Oh, well, I didn't. I told him to do it, but I learned it from the serpent. The serpent told me, this dude, he told me to do this and that, and he said do this and that. Yeah, but what did I tell you to do? You know what I mean? What did I tell you to do? Did I tell you to leave your man because he has another rib. Did I tell you to get insecure and just go ahead and leave him, man? Did I tell you to go ahead and make me into a woman because you want to feel more powerful? Did I tell you to do away with your wife only because you found one that was more beautiful and more nicer and she just hits all the right spots? Did I tell you to leave your first wife? No. Who told you to do these things? Who told you to sit there and eat this goddamn freaking this horse jerky? You know what I'm saying? Who told you to do these things? Okay, hold on. Another example. Who told you to make these drugs and to sell these drugs to your people? You know what I'm saying? All these things, like, let me see. Let me see real quick. I said something and I need the answer to it. Okay, okay, okay. I got the answer to it. All right, so like it, because I said something, I was like, all right, let me check that real quick. Okay, so yeah, so the Lord is saying who told you um who told you that these things were lawful? Because I gave you the laws of what to do and what not to do. This is the true meaning of what was going on within that garden, and this is why Adam and Eve had to be kicked out because they learned the ways of sin. They learned the opposite of what the Most High was instructing him to do and her to do. You know what I mean? Eve should have just been following her man. She shouldn't have gave him any type of advice on what he needed to do or what she found interesting that someone brought to her. She shouldn't have brought none of that stuff. She should just follow after her man. What her man said was right and wrong, what you can do and what you can't do. She should just follow that. But she chose not to. You know what I'm saying? She chose to follow the ways of a serpent who was more subtle than any beast of the field. You know what I'm saying? And what did he do? He fed her the same nonsense that our sisters are getting fed today, which is why a majority of our sisters are single, which is why a majority of our sisters got like about 20 bodies on them. You know what I mean? And still ain't got no stability within their home. Yeah, you probably got a nice job. Yeah, you probably got a nice career. But that cat is not going to protect you. You know what I'm saying? That dog is not going to protect you when war comes. Those things, people really, that's one thing too. They kept the detriment of war outside of our knowledge. So you don't really know that a woman can be a spoil of war. Why is that? Why can a woman be a spoil of war? If you ever seen a movie called it's a movie called God dang Fury, and when America busts into Germany and takes over a city, like they go into like two soldiers go into a house and find two women hiding, and they pretty much look at it like, okay, that's it. That's it. We about to get raped, and we about to get used, and they more than likely they're gonna kill us. But more likely we're going to get raped. You know what I mean? Now the soldiers didn't end up raping them, but at the end of the day, you can see the perspective on their face because that's really what happens in war. Women are a spoil of war. That's why it's always detrimental to have a man in a home protecting you because war is coming. They're trying to make it seem as if it's not coming, but war is coming. War is already here. You know what I mean? Those gas prices, that's warfare. Water being $5 a bottle, that's warfare. You know what I'm saying? War is already here. Now they can try to hide it as much as they want to, but all in all, at the end of the day, war is already amongst us as we speak. Things are getting more pricier. Inflammation is going up, skyrocket through the roof. Next thing you're going to see is the actual battles happening. You know what I'm saying? And what happens during battle? What happens during battle? People have to die. There's mourning, there's suffering, there's screaming, there's fire, there's smoke, there's bullets, there's gunshots. That's what happens during war. There's bombs, explosions. Now, they sat over here and rocked our sisters to sleep so much, even our brothers. They rocked our brothers and our sisters to sleep so much to the point where they made everyone feel like they were protected by the government regardless of whatever you do. Regardless of whatever you do. But all in all, at the end of the day, you have not experienced what real warfare is. You have not experienced it. A lot of people in the hood experience it. You kind of like numb to it a little bit. You see the warfare between a brother and a brother only because they rock different colors. You see that you can't walk outside because that brother might be parked outside waiting with an AK-47, waiting for you and your kids to come outside so he can shoot you up or shoot you and your homies up. Now you get a taste of it, but come on now. You know what I mean? Even in that type of warfare, a man is not going to bust. And the man is not going to sit there and kill his opposition and run up into his home and rape his woman, rape his mother, rape his kids, his daughters, his sons. Now that's what's going to happen in war, and that's what's happened in warfare. People are subjected to being victims of this type of mentality, of this type of lifestyle, because you're dealing with an animalistic type of person. A person is going to be, they're going to do whatever they can do to kill the opposition, and then they're going to enjoy the fruits of his labor, of his spoils, regardless of what it is. You know what I mean? And regardless of what age you are, regardless of whatever, that's real warfare, and that's what's coming to this place. And God and the Most High is trying to send as many signs as possible to show you that this is what's coming. This is exactly what's coming to this place. He's sending as many signs as he can to get you to wake up, to open your eyes, to stop being distracted, to stop using your pride as a mechanism to get what you want. You know what I mean? Oh, well, we don't want to, we know you guys teach the truth, but we don't want to be a part of it because we just want a man that won't want wife. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, we want it so much that we're gonna make it seem like that God said that it's lawful. You know what I'm saying? Like, screw all the madness, screw all that extra stuff that makes you feel insecure about yourself, or you need to get into the customs of what the Most High brought to you, the instructions that the Most High brought to you. It doesn't matter what you want to feel, because Eve wanted to feel like she was a goddess. She wanted to be a god, which is why the serpent used that in order to deceive her. So what happened with her? You know what I'm saying? What happened with her? Why was she in the position that she was in, where now women have to, now all humanity has well, not humanity, but all people in general have to, okay, well, we're talking about spiritual death. So all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have to find out what it's like to die, what it's like to be separate from the Most High, to be separate from his instructions, to be separate from the ways of that he brought to us, that we should live, the things that we should eat, the things that we should do. We should be separate from that. Why? Is because we chose to separate from that. You know what I'm saying? So now, what is our next mission? Our next mission is to, just as much as we try to sit there and do the opposite of what the Most High taught us, it's our job to try as hard as we can to get back into what the Most High wants us to do. You know what I'm saying? Just like the children in Egypt, the children of Israel in Egypt, they cried for the Most High. They begged and cried for the Most High to give them some type of relief from this captivity, and guaranteed we're going to hit the same type of route. Once things start to hit your front door, once those prices, like the Similac already gone, you can't feed your babies no more. Now it's going to get to a point where you can't feed your kids no more. This is going to get to a point where you can't feed yourselves no more, and you're going to cry for the Most High. You're going to cry for the truth of the Most High, and you're going to beg for the truth. Everything that happened in your pride and everything that happened within your stubbornness is not even going to be a factor when it comes to you starving and you being a victim to being a casualty in war. When those things happen, all that stuff that you felt that you wanted are not going to matter. Why do you want those things? Why is your pride so stiff-necked and so strong? Is because you still have faith in your oppressors that they're going to make everything okay. And guess what? That is everything but. Your oppressors are already preparing themselves for the worst. So much so that they want to leave this planet. That they're setting themselves up to leave this whole planet. That's how much they have in doubt that they can make anything better. Because they already know. You know what I mean? This is the beginning of sorrows. And it's only going to keep getting worse from here. Now, how long you take to sit there and knock that knuckleheadness, that stubbornness, that hard-headedness out your body, you know what I mean? Get into this truth, get in all black, get under the authority of Commander General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be all up to you, right? That's a fact, Halak. You know what I mean? World War III is on the way. Then you're going to start understanding what really being an independent woman is going to be is going to get you. Because you won't have anybody there to protect you. You know what I mean? When our enemies come here, you know what I mean, or shall I say, our enemies, but so much America's enemies coming here to come destroy this place, you're going to understand what the true definition of being a spoil of war is. You know what I'm saying? Being a spoil of war. And before you can even get that feeling, I would suggest you get into this truth, get into this body. And figure out that this is the only way that you're going to receive protection. You know what I'm saying? Being in the Isupk is the only way that you'll be able to receive protection. Because all these other places that teach you that you can sleep with heathens, that you just can't be that hard to people. You got to come soft. You can't come so hard. All these other people that's sitting on, hey, you know what I mean? America's enemies is going to come hard. You know what I'm saying? They're not about to come soft. They're not about to be generous to your opinion. They're going to come in a way where they want to destroy everything that's going on in here in order to overthrow it and take it over. To be the next power of the world. So what are you going to do? You going to run to those clubs that you used to go to with your little club dresses and try to find some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Some type of God dang it, what's the word I'm looking for? Protection? You gonna try to find some protection at the clubs you went to? You know what I mean? When you kicked out all those men out your house and told them they wasn't good enough and that they wasn't, you know what I mean? They didn't deserve to be around you, and you think that those clubs is gonna save you? You think your grandma gonna save you because she's been watching your child this whole time while you were sitting over here being ratchet on those clubs that whole time? You know what I mean? Where's your protection going to be at? You're going to be begging for a man to be in your house at that time period. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling you that for you to settle. I'm telling you that for you to find a righteous man. And the only way you're going to find a righteous man is by getting in this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because there's plenty of righteous men up in here who have the means of protection, who have the mindset of what's going to happen in the future. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen, and if it does happen, how to adapt to the situation. You know what I mean? Right here in the Isupk on the Commander General Yohana, you won't have to worry about being deceived by a serpent, because you're going to know the differences between life and death, spiritual life and death, how to live and how not to live. Now, what you choose between them is up to you, but you're going to know the difference. We're not going to teach you that it's okay for you to sit there and abort your children. You know what I mean? Just to go ahead and abort it because you know what I mean, it's better for your circumstances. We're not going to teach you that. We're going to teach you that when you get in here, you know what I mean, if you're not already married on to a man, if you do marry on to a man in the ISUPK, then you're going to be with that man forever. You know what I'm saying? And if that man is a righteous man and no sin is upon him, then he's going to be with you forever, and he will love you forever. He will treat you like a wife forever. He's not going to sit there and have to treat you a certain type of way only because you're not better than. No, you're going to be a wife, and you're going to be protected. And if that time period does come where they are trying to find spoils of war, you won't be a spoil. You'll be protected, not just by the Most High, but you'll be protected by your husband. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, you know what I mean, with that, you know what I'm saying? Don't be deceived by your oppressor. Don't let your oppressor tell you, oh yeah, well, you still an Israelite if you do this. You still an Israelite if you do that, because it's more comforting to your insecurities. You're still an Israelite if you believe that God is a woman. You're still an Israelite because it's a bloodline thing. It's not really the doctrine, because they them over there, they teach you, the ISUPK, they teach you devil doctrine. Even though, you know what I mean, they was first, but they teach you devil doctrine. We mapped it out, and we figured out the real true way of God, and we want to give you the best way. We want to give you the way that make you feel good. Nah. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about you feeling good. You know what I mean? It ain't about us coming over here doing classes and doing camps because it makes us feel good. You know what I'm saying? We do it because we're serving the Most High. We do it even in a time period where we feel like we can't do it because we're serving the Most High. You know what I mean? So it's up for women, men, everybody to get aboard, get on track, and stop trying to make it seem as if really hard times is not coming, because warfare is coming. Warfare is coming, and people really don't really have a good research button when it comes to war. War is not really just about bullets and guns and people fighting face to face. And there's more stuff to it. There's spoils of war. There's servants of, there's people who there's prisoners of war. You know what I'm saying? If you're too weak and you get captured, you're going to be a prisoner for life. You're going to be a slave, back in slavery. You know what I mean? So it's up for you to sit here and decide, do you really want to go where it's militant, or do you want to go where it's soft, and they're going to give it to you soft. They're going to give it to you the way you like it. They're going to give you the truth the way you like it. Nah. You know what I'm saying? That's not the truth. You know what I mean? The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is a man of war, and he has all his men prepped and ready for warfare. So whether if you want to get on board or not, that's up to you. Or you can just be like Eve and just take whatever information that anybody's willing to give you and just go follow that. And with that, you know what I mean? Shalom, Yahweh Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shabrak, a thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar, a thumb Bashem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. The water for y'all too, man.